25 seconds.
Right.
Okay, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Okay. It's our very first test.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. No way! Oh my god! Yep, that's 2 lines.
Why are you crying?
I don't know! There's water in my eyes! Why are you crying?
I'm just happy.
What now?
Should I call it right now? Hey, we just did a pregnancy test.
No, we gotta regroup. Hello everyone. So as you can see, my life is forever changed. I know this video is so unlike any of my other videos, and honestly I debated for so long whether I'm going to share or document this journey publicly, but as I'm making this video I decided that yes, I would love to document my pregnancy journey publicly. In today's video, I would like to share everything that I have learned or everything that I kind of experienced in my first trimester. So in today's video, I would like to share everything that I have experienced from the moment that we found out up until the second trimester. So in this video, I'm going to cover some overview or big changes that kind of happened to me in terms of lifestyle, physical changes, mindset/mental health challenges, and any other thing that might help you in your own journey if you are thinking of becoming pregnant, or what to look forward to when you become pregnant. And I hope that you have a whole different experience than myself, because honestly, after this video, you probably won't want to become pregnant, and that's totally okay. The goal of this video is to 1, document my own journey, and 2, is to share my experience so that you kind of know what you're getting yourself into, because honestly, I didn't know what I was getting myself into when we decided to become pregnant. So I hope that you have a whole different experience than myself. Without further ado, let's get into the physical and lifestyle challenges that you might experience in your first trimester. The first thing that I experienced is exhaustion. I've never felt so exhausted in my entire life. I work as a nurse, and if you're a nurse or you know a nurse, you know that they work a lot, 12-hour shifts, always on your feet. But being exhausted as a pregnant woman is a whole different level. I would sleep for 12 hours every night and still feel tired during the day. I would need at least 1 to 2 naps throughout the day. At one point during my pregnancy, I could not even do my daily walks, which, as you know, I love walking in the afternoon or just during the day and doing at least a half an hour walk. And sometimes I couldn't even get past the 5-minute or 10-minute mark, and I would feel so exhausted. So the exhaustion really shocked me because it's something that I've never experienced before. And this kind of makes sense because your body is now producing a whole new organ, which is the placenta, where the baby will kind of make its home. So your body is working so much internally, and that's why you're so exhausted all the time. So that's something that I want you to kind of learn, is that you're going to be exhausted for the first few weeks. And because of this exhaustion, I actually stopped working as a nurse. So I am a self-employed casual nurse, and I work with agencies and I pick up my own shifts. And I actually stopped picking up shifts after 2 days when I found out I was pregnant, just because of the exhaustion. So I didn't work for the last 3 or 4 months that since I have become pregnant. Luckily, I have a very supportive husband. We have savings and cushion that I didn't really need to kind of work. So that really helped a lot in terms of managing my body or resting my body. The second physical change is feeling nauseated, nausea. So 80% of women, according to research, is going to experience nausea throughout the pregnancy. I experienced it, unfortunately, and it's not morning sickness, it's more like 24/7 weakness sickness, because I was nauseous all the time. And if you've been nauseous before, you know it's a very, very uncomfortable feeling. You just feel like you want to throw up. I was retching throughout the day, all day, and I actually did develop vomiting as well. So I ended up asking my family doctor for some prescriptions. So they prescribed me a medication called Diclexis, pectin, which is a combination of vitamin B6 and antihistamine, which helps you become less nauseous. And that really helped me for the first few weeks. And I'm still taking it up until this point, but I lowered the dose. So you're supposed to take it 4 times a day, or you can work up to 4 times a day, or you can take it once a day or twice a day or 3 times a day. But it's up to you whether you need to take it up to 4 times a day. Because my nausea and vomiting was so bad that I couldn't really function, I decided to take the 4 dosages. But the problem was that the side effect of this medication was that you would get so drowsy and so sleepy that you actually couldn't function at all. So I was exhausted and also I was sleepy. So the whole 3 months, or at least I would say 7 weeks, is that I would just be on the couch, watch, eat, and go back to sleep. And that was my days over and over again. The third lifestyle change that kind of happened was that wearing every single thing that I was putting inside my body or even on my skin or body. And this is because there are food and ingredients that you're not supposed to take in your first trimester. So you've probably heard that you cannot have raw food like sushi, which I love. And I knew that going into the pregnancy, but just in case, kind of take advantage of this time if you're thinking of becoming pregnant, is to have sushi every single week. Secondly, there are cheeses or vegetables that you cannot have just because they have an increased risk for food poisoning, which if you get it, then the bacteria might get passed on to the fetus, and then that will cause birth defects and etc. So every time I ate something new, I would have to make sure Google, can I eat this food? Is this safe for pregnant women? And that just became a little inconvenient or annoying at times, but I'm not really eating something different every single time. So it's not bad. Only when I go to restaurants or events that I don't really know if this food is safe, then I have to Google it. That's kind of what you have to look forward to. And then in terms of skincare, I stopped using retinol, and you're also supposed to not use salicylic acid. So that kind of helps with the pimple and acne and all that. And that's just because, again, it kind of gets absorbed into the skin, into your system, which can then be passed on to the fetus, which can have harmful effects. The fourth drastic lifestyle change that I experienced is really I stopped working out because of the exhaustion and some mental health challenges. I stopped working out because I couldn't get myself up. Imagine being exhausted, feeling nauseated, not having the energy to do anything. How could I work out? I could not. And like I've said, even a 30-minute walk was too much for me. So I stopped working out and I ended up gaining 8 pounds in the first trimester, but I was also borderline underweight. So I'm thinking is that was my body's way of getting me up to the weight that I need so that I can support the baby's growth. Because if you're underweight, then it's likely that you will have the fetus might grow low birth weight. And so I felt that I was hungry all the time and I was eating and snacking all the time, but without working out. So then that kind of made me gain the necessary weight that I needed in order to support this pregnancy throughout. So I'm in the second trimester now and my weight gain is managed. There's a calculator online where you can kind of see what is the recommended amount of weight gain you're supposed to have every single week. In the first trimester, you're not supposed to gain more than 4 pounds. And in the second trimester, you can gain 1 pound per week. So I'm just making sure that I am eating healthy, doing exercise and managing my weight, because the goal is to get back to my previous weight or previous body as fast as possible. So because of all those physical and lifestyle changes, it created a whole new different challenges. And that is the mental health or mindset challenges that I experienced in the first trimester. So the first challenge is having a new identity crisis. So before pregnancy, I kind of always saw myself as someone who was productive, who kind of identified myself with the things that I was doing, working as a nurse, working as a creator, working as a writer, all of these things that has to do with physical work or creativity. And being able to not do that kind of take a toll on me because I just felt really unproductive, even though not doing anything was already justified because I was growing a whole new organ and my body was doing a lot of work. But because we're kind of raised in a society where we value physical and tangible outcomes, it just feels like when you're a woman and you're just not doing anything, resting and you're letting your body rest, is that, or your sense of worth kind of diminishes because you're not doing what you're kind of raised to believe to do, if that makes sense. So with this identity crisis, I kind of started having a lot of self-doubt. I started regretting this whole decision of being pregnant, and I started having so many doubts about having a baby at this age and etc. Fortunately, all those thoughts have kind of subsided now, and few things that help is really having a very supportive husband. So I said all of my concerns to my husband, and he was very supportive throughout, whether I was having negative thoughts and etc. He never pushed me to kind of do anything or, you know, do anything at all. He just let me be. So that was really helpful, and I felt he was kind of my rock in that period, and it's one of the reasons that I was able to go through with it. So if you are thinking of becoming pregnant, make sure that you really have a very supportive partner, because that helps a lot. I read a lot of bad experiences online where a lot of women are kind of also expected to do household chores and take care of other kids and work while also being pregnant, which is a lot. The second thing that helped is really to remind myself that this is all temporary. There is a 9-month period that I'm giving myself that I can kind of think whatever I want, do whatever I want, and really help myself feel better and just be selfish with my physical, mental, and emotional energy. That everything right now that I'm experiencing, I'm thinking, is allowed. Basically allowing yourself to experience this whole journey wholeheartedly, whether that is anger, regret, happiness, joy, which you might not experience, that's totally okay. And once you let yourself experience those emotions, then that is how you get to the other side of feeling better or feeling more excited about this whole thing, which is kind of what happened to me. I was also told by family and friends who kind of already went through this is that everything would get better in the second trimester, and as you can see, I'm filming now, so it does get better, but at the time it feels like it's forever, and you just have to remind yourself that this is all temporary, there is an end to this, and that you can do this. You just need to hang on. Honestly, it's a lot of mindset shifting, and I really hope that you do a lot of mindset work before you become pregnant so that you can kind of get yourself out of there, or that if you have some negative and depressive thoughts, that you don't associate your identity with those thoughts. I really learned in the first trimester that I shouldn't be attaching my self-worth or self-esteem into the work that I'm doing, because once I couldn't do them, it almost felt like, okay, who I am without these things. I really learned to find joy or meaning in other areas of my life just by showing up as a daughter, as a sister, as a wife, as someone who loved to walk or to read or to watch TV. So without the work, I kind of learned who I was, and I made sure that I still felt whole and intact to my core. So if the work disappears out of my life, I'm still complete, I'm still whole. I'm kind of really grateful for that experience, because it made me feel like, oh, everything else is a cherry on top. I don't need to be a YouTuber, I don't need to be a writer to be successful or to consider my worth as a person. I can just be and exist, and I'm still okay, if that makes sense. And the other thing is that I remember reading this on a blog where the first trimester is all about survival mode, and that really helped a lot because it meant that I could let myself be. All I needed to do was eat and rest and sleep, and that was the thing. If I did all of that and I was still alive at the end of the day, I'm winning. It's not about getting yourself pretty or working and all of these things, it's all about surviving, and that was the main theme of my first trimester, is to just survive. The second mental health challenge that I had was actually not being excited about having a baby. So imagine having all these symptoms and having all these negative thoughts, all these doubts. I couldn't really be excited about having a baby. So I wasn't doing any of the research that I needed to do. I wasn't excited to baby showers and all that. I obviously want children, but I wasn't excited. And I realized that it's okay to not be excited, because again, you're in survival mode, so you're not going to be excited about all these other things. I thought about reaching out to a mental health therapy, but because I also did not have energy to do that, I ended up not doing it. And I had a lot of events happening in my life that kind of pulled me out of that negative thought, negative cycle. And then it became second trimester and all the thoughts kind of started disappearing. Then I got better. But if you are struggling, I would recommend that you reach out to your family doctor or to any other therapist or any other help, because I really think that it is crucial in this journey. A lot of people talk about postpartum depression, but there is such thing as prenatal depression, which is where you get depressed during your pregnancy because of the hormones and everything. Anyways, but after all that, I did get better, and the thoughts started to disappear, and I started to become more excited about the idea of being pregnant and also becoming a mom. Another thing that affected my mental health is my body image. Because I'd stopped working out, like I said, I gained 8 pounds. And again, you're not supposed to gain any weight in your first trimester, but I believe because of me being underweight, I had to gain that weight, and now it's more managed. And only in the second trimester, I started to have more energy. And since I have more energy, I decided to actually sign up for a Pilates class once a week. And when you go in a Pilates class when you're pregnant, you're supposed to have a private instructor because the exercises are going to be more modified, and they will customize the things that you need to do to support your pregnancy. So we do a lot of pelvic exercises, a lot of leg exercises, plus full body in those sessions, which I think really helps a lot, because I really hope that I have no pain during my labor, and also obviously throughout the pregnancy, and also faster recovery for later on. So I think that having a healthy body is super important during your pregnancy. And in the first trimester, if you can't do it, that's totally okay. Go for a 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk. Don't push yourself, but also try to do something. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing Pilates, and I'm actually trying to pick up back my self exercises, trying to motivate myself, because again, I have lost that motivation to kind of improve my health or my body, which is fine, but not in the long run. So another mental health challenge that I experienced throughout the first trimester is not caring about anything. So a lot of my friends or family were kind of celebrating their own milestones, whether that was birthdays or bachelorette, and I felt like I couldn't care less, and that made me feel really guilty. I didn't care about YouTube, I didn't care about social media, I didn't care about anything that I used to really care about. And of course, that will kind of take a toll on you, especially if you used to love or used to be so passionate about these things. It was even harder because I told myself at the beginning of the year that this is going to be the year where I'm going to make it on YouTube or be successful on YouTube, and then this happens or life happens. But honestly, I think it was just the hormones. And again, I had to learn how to be kind to myself and really learn how to kind of just let it be. I really forced myself to attend the parties or this social events that I needed to, because one, they distracted me from what was going on, and two, I think it's still important to kind of live your life while you're being pregnant. I managed to go to Nashville for 4 days while I was pregnant, and that helped a lot. Even though I was sick and nauseous, I had a lot of supportive friends, and obviously the bride was really supportive, and I still managed to make through it. Anyways, as you can see, I've managed to create this video, and I'm slowly starting to get back to my old self. I'm starting to have the same wants that I want as before. So I really think it was because of the hormones. So as you can see, being pregnant is something not to look forward to. I'm still waiting for the time where I'm super excited about being pregnant. I'm still waiting for my bump, and there are so many other things to kind of look forward to, but I really wanted to document this journey, the highs, the lows, everything about it as much as I can and as much as my energy would let me. And I really hope that you like this type of video, and if you are interested enough, let me know what kind of things you want to see when it comes to being pregnant, being a new mom, etc. Let me know. Anyways, I hope that you be kind to yourself and you take it one day at a time, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.